We ring the gong 3 times, once for those who came before us and made a place for us. Once for those who are here now. And once for those who will come after and build on the dream. Hear these words from my heart. We light this candle amidst the uncertainty of each of our personal journeys. May its light bring a glimmer of hope to shine in and through each of us. May this visible light from us break through any darkness within ourselves or between those with whom we have contact. May this beacon of hope from our light shine brightly as we claim our dignity and worth as human beings in our loving acceptance, embrace, and interaction, especially with those whom we love the most. Will you repeat with me now the covenant as printed in your order of service? Love is the spirit of this church, and service is its law. To dwell together in peace, to seek the truth in love, and to help each other. This is our covenant. The children can now go to RE. Our first hymn will be number 39. This is the familiar Holy, Holy, Holy from the Protestant Church. So stand if you're willing and able and sing 39. Bring, O morn, thy music. Imagine 2 photographs, side by side. On the left is a photo of a mother and father holding their two small children in their arms. Fast forward 70 years, and the photograph on the right is those two baby children now holding their mother and father in their arms. This is life's full circle, as the children now become the adults holding their parents who now are in need of their children's care and nurturing. As we all progress through our own personal life management stories, there is one element that cannot escape us all, and if it does, we have even more challenges in our decision making. Communication. If we don't communicate with each other on any issue or circumstance, then there is always room for doubt and mistrust when decisions are made. The cognizance of the patient is always primary in the communication process, and in some cases it is legally required for requests to be valid. But Alzheimer's and dementia issues exaggerate communication issues, as the bodies many times will outlive the brain as the brain function diminishes. Add on top of that, there are some issues that are socially taboo to discuss for some reason. Death, for example. It is well documented that the majority of American families do not confront the realities of their own death, as if there's some superstitious force ready to cause or speed up our dying at its mere mention. Then when death actually occurs, there is a mad, awkward family scramble of what do we do? But the point of my comments this morning are not necessarily about how or what causes a person to become dependent on a caregiver. What I want to focus on is once they are now dependent on significant caregiving due to their physical realities, how do the roles change concerning family members or survivors, and what are the most important issues to the patient in need? I have recently discovered a wonderful new book by Julie McFadden, an RN, whom some of you may be familiar with from her postings on Facebook or TikTok, now X as it's now called. Her book, published last year, is titled Nothing to Fear: Demystifying Death to Live More Fully. If I could do a quick commercial, I'm going to use this book as a resource for my Owls Club group beginning tomorrow for a discussion on being mortal based on Atul Gawande's book, Being Mortal. Back to Julie's book. By chapter 4 of her book, she really gets into the nitty-gritty of caregiving. It seems and sounds very simple when spoken in words, but the details that go into making those words a reality are what's at stake for the patient. The three words: clean, safe, comfortable. Let me read the introduction to chapter 4, clean, safe, and comfortable. This is Julie's words. As I've now discussed at length, there's a big difference between medical care when the goal of curing, healing, and saving the life of an otherwise healthy patient, and the medical care with the goal of supporting a patient on the end-of-life journey. When we are talking about the latter, hospice care's main goal is to manage your symptoms at home, so you truly live the rest of your life. And she goes into quite detail in her book on just defining what she means by live in that context. We are here to support you and your family so you can carry out the things you've been wanting to do. In the end, hospice care can boil down to these three questions. Is the person clean? Is the person safe? Is the person comfortable? Truly, I believe that asking these questions can be the game changer for hospice patients and caregivers. When you can answer these three questions in the affirmative, you can give yourself permission to let go of a lot of other things. Obviously, this is only a grain of sand in the beach of one's lifetime. Circumstances, experiences, and developments, as well as the questions that need to be asked and answered as we navigate this journey of declining bodies, are all part of a very large equation. So let's go back to the side-by-side photograph. Mom and dad holding daughter and son as life begins for the children. daughter and son now holding mom and dad, who are now the children, in need of parental support and love returned back to them from their children. As you place yourself in those images, imagine the hopes and dreams and thoughts and prayers that focus on doing all you can to assure the best possible outcomes for your loved one, no matter what their circumstance. And all of this is in the context of trying to do and meet the expectations of our loved ones to the best of our abilities, no matter what role we end up playing. So the circle and cycle of life is a true blessing to those of us who have the opportunity to experience it. The reality is that not everyone, though, has the privilege or opportunity to experience this full life cycle. But wherever you find yourself in this journey or in these photographs, I will be so bold as to attest to the title of Julie's book, There Is Nothing to Fear. When our attitudes and motives are clear and sound and shared between all parties concerned, then based on the love we have for each other, the fears and uncertainties of the future can greatly be reduced. Today's offering is going to be shared with the Elkhart County Symphony Orchestra. And so as the offering plate is passed, please give as you're willing and able as Marva and Joe entertain us. First, I need to apologize to Joe. He called me the day after I ran the Orders of Service and changed the title. But that was probably my fault too, but it's actually Alzheimer's Dementia Services, not Adventure Services, that I had written in the Order of Service.
It's still an adventure.
But it's also an adventure, probably, Joe. Well, Joe, I looked he sent me a bio, and it says Joe Collins, ADQMCP. I said, man, that's a cool title. I wonder what that means. So I looked it up, and tell me if I'm wrong. Quantitative Methods and Computational Psychology. Is that correct?
No.
Okay, I see. I went on the internet and didn't have the main resource. So, okay.
I'll explain it when I go.
Okay, very good. All right. Anyway, Joe has been the program manager of ALZNI, which is Alzheimer's Group of Northern Indiana, Since February 2021, bringing with him over 16 years of rich experience in the healthcare industry, his expertise covers a wide range of areas, including behavioral health, life enrichment, executive leadership, and particularly dementia care. In addition to his healthcare career, Joe has the musical background as a trombonist, guitarist, and drummer. He entered his Bachelor of Arts in Music from University of Tampa in 2022. He completed his Health Rhythms Facilitator training with the Cincinnati Music and Wellness Coalition, followed by Drum Circle Leadership training in 2023 with Jim Donovan drumming. Joe is committed to enhancing his knowledge and skills and understanding in how music impacts the brain and effectively implementing various evidence-based programs. He has lived in the area since 2008, but he originally grew up in southeastern Indiana. Joe is married and has 2 children, 10 and 6, and in his free time, he loves to play music, write, and spend time with his kids. And Joe, I'm going to give you an advertisement or a little commercial here for tomorrow, or Tuesday, when you start your health Rhythms drumming class. On Tuesday, January 14th at 11 o'clock, Health Rhythms is back with a new weekly time. Join certified instructor Joseph Collins for a fun and interactive drumming class that strengthens the mind and body. Sessions are $5 each with a class limit size of 15 persons. That was out of the Owls newsletter. So, Joe, we welcome your comments and message.
Thank you so much for having me today. Just the little letters. I am a certified activity director for the state of Indiana throughout my years in healthcare, and our organization, Alzheimer's and Dementia Services, actually has a little branch that's growing that's a part of us called the Institute in Excellence for Memory Care. And her name is Patty Pachaki. She runs that part, and she's our educational manager, whatever words that I think of in the moment on her title, never right. But she's created certifications for advanced dementia care for professionals. And it's actually the only certification program that is recognized in the world that is recognized by a company called Be Advice. So the founders of De Hogevey, the dementia village in the Netherlands. And actually the founder was one of our keynote speakers at our dementia summit that we had this past November. So her certifications is the QMCP, which is a qualified memory care professional. And there's another one that she actually has, which is a certified memory care professional, and it's a total of 35 hours for both of them. So, but thank you again for having me today. I am going to start out with a couple songs. I'm clearly a big music fan and Dave Matthews, and it was really nice to walk into Dave Matthews playing today, so that was awesome. Because that's the only thing I listened to on my way up here. And I chose a couple songs from his album Come Tomorrow, or their album Come Tomorrow, which if you ever get a chance to listen to it front to back, because it is a lifelong journey throughout every song, from front to back of the album. So I chose a couple songs, and then I will tell you all about our adventurous Alzheimer's and Dementia Services of Northern Indiana. one step, one word, and then with laughter sing, oh, life begin. First just one step. Let's not forget these early days, remembering we began the same. We lose our way in fear and hate, oh, joy begins. Innocent kids, like magic bliss. First broken bones, sudden and swift, oh, innocent. Let's not forget these early days. Remember we begin the same. We lose our way in fear and pain. No joy begins. Oh, joy begins. I don't know if I said the names of these. That one was, it's actually called Samurai Cop. And you can look up a video because he explains why he named it that, but it also, it's got a little parenthesis, Oh, Joy Begins. And then this next one is titled Funny the Way It Is. Quick question. Is that loud enough? Everybody hear that? Lying in the park on a beautiful day, sunshine in the grass and the children play. Sirens passing, fire engines red. Someone's house is burning down on a day like this. The evening comes and we're hanging out on the front step, and a car goes by with the windows rolled down, and that war song is playing. Why can't we be friends? Someone is screaming and crying in the apartment upstairs. Funny the way it is, if you think about it. Someone's going hungry, someone else is eating out. Funny the way it is, not right or wrong. Someone's heart is broken, becomes your favorite song. The way your mouth feels in your lover's kiss, like a pretty bird on a breeze, or water to a fish. A bomb blast brings the building crashing to the floor. Hear the laughter while the children play war. Funny the way it is, if you think about it. One kid walks 10 miles to school, another's dropping out. Funny the way it is, not right or wrong. on a soldier's last breath, his baby's being born. Standing on a bridge, watch the water passing underneath. It must have been much harder when there was no bridge, just water. Now the world is small compared to how it used to be, with fountains and oceans and winters and rivers and stars. Watch the sky, jet plane so far out of my reach. Is there someone up there looking down on me? The boy chased a bird so close, but every time he never catch her. But he can't stop trying. Funny the way it is, if you think about it. One kid walks 10 miles to school while another's dropping out. Funny the way it is, not right or wrong. On a soldier's last breath, his baby's being born. Funny the way it is, not right or wrong. Someone's broken heart becomes your favorite song. Funny the way it is, if you think about it. One kid walks 10 miles to school, another's dropping out. Standing on a bridge, watch the water passing underneath. It must have been much harder when there was no bridge, just water. Now the world is small compared to how it used to be, with mountains and oceans and winters and rivers and stars. Thank you. Stand up this time, for now. Top or bottom on mine? Works. Yep. Which one of these waters? Because I'm bigger? All right. Okay. So a little bit about Alzheimer's and dementia services. And I'm never going to let you live this down, Steve, and all the adventures that we have. So our office is actually located at a place called Milton Village, and it's over on the north side of South Bend. It is let's still say brand new, a couple years old. We've been there. It's a state-of-the-art, one-of-a-kind in the world building, facility, center. We'll go there. Again, it's modeled after the Dementia Village in the Netherlands, which is called De Hogevee, and it boasts an all-inclusive day center, caregiver support center, all in one. So we have adult day there Monday through Friday, and we also have caregiver support services. And those services are many different things, such as family consultations, where we sit down and talk with the families. And these meetings are typically for really just the family members, those caregivers that are taking care of their loved ones living with dementia. That allows us to both sides, both parties, all parties, whoever is there, to really open up and talk about what they need to talk about. Allows us to sit down and really get a plan set up for each family specifically, what to do, what to expect, and then just plans moving forward. And so the idea is, as we meet with people, they continue to come into the center. Your water. They continue to come into the center for all the support that we have there. So along with our family consultations, we have support groups. And so Alzheimer's and Dementia Services covers 11 counties. We are a branch of Real Services, but we do cover an extra area than what Real Services as a whole does, just because we've been around since 1982 and just joined services with Real Services back in 2013. Just realized it was snowing, sorry, squirrel. So along with those support groups, we have 35, possibly 35 plus. I lose track sometimes. I do manage all of our support groups and the facilitators, and all of our facilitators are actually trained through us as well. So I do all that training typically. And then so they keep in contact with me, I keep in contact with them and support them and their groups. So there are that many support groups across 11 counties for families to choose from. And really the importance for support groups is to be able to be in a space around people in a similar situation. You know, you get down, you get in there, you sit down, and whether you want to talk or not, that's totally up to you as an attendee. But you get to hear other stories. You get to hear what works for people, what doesn't work for people, which is always different. And you get to talk about things or listen to other people talk, and they're people that understand what you're going through. They get it. You know, if you've ever been in a caregiver situation, especially a caregiver for an individual living with dementia, you know that there's so many times out there that when you're talking to other family or friends of family, you don't get the positive feedback that you need. Oh, are you sure that's the right diagnosis? Maybe you should get a third consultation opinion. Maybe that's not the right medication. Maybe you should go here. So all these different comments. So as you get into a support group, you get to be around other people that are in a similar situation and that get it, so you can talk about it. And our support groups are very open. You know, you're able to go in there and talk about anything that you want, good, bad, or ugly. You can vent. We all need to vent at times, especially as caregivers. So that's what it's for, and everything stays there in each group specifically. So along with support groups, we do have a helpline that is open Monday through Friday from 8 to 4:30. We have a quarterly newsletter that we send out on a quarterly basis. We do different presentations, educational seminars, speakings out in the communities, online. We do have a web-based caregiver education that happens every Monday as well, called Care Partner Academy. And actually, Patty Pachaki that I was telling you about, she is the one that does that. Typically, she runs that aspect of it. And it's a free online webinar every Monday morning at 10 a.m. If you can't make it, something comes up, you can get the recording and watch it whenever you want, or however many times you want. The first Mondays are always Alzheimer's and Dementia 101, and then it's a different topic for every other Monday that it happens. So it's a great program that we have, very educational. Patty is an amazing speaker, just so knowledgeable. She has over 25 plus years in healthcare, specifically in memory care, and she's also a recreational therapist. So along with those programs, we do have an awesome team. There is about 9 of us or so, 9 or 10 of us, spread throughout all 11 counties, which goes from Elkhart and Kosciuszko west to the Indiana-Illinois state line, over to Lake and Newton County, and everything in between there pretty much. So that's a pretty big area, especially when you drive around all 11 counties sometimes. So I get to do that from time to time. But luckily, we have someone over in that area that covers, that does a lot of that groundwork over there for us. So along with those programs, those support mechanisms that we provide the community, we do it at no cost as well. So you don't have to give us any insurance information. It's free for caregivers. So we strive to do that as much as possible, and we do so through grants, through donations, memoriams, so many different ways. So we're able to do that for the community. So that is Alzheimer's and Dementia Services in a nutshell. Probably talk most of the day on us and what we do, just what we've done. We have a lot of different projects in the works right now, such as a VR virtual reality headset program for dementia experience, which is really neat. So there's other things out there similar to it as well. And then you already plugged in for Health Rhythms. Let me go over Health Rhythms a little bit and explain a little bit about what it is, just to entice you to come more, because it really is a great program. I started at the Owls probably around September-ish, I think, October. Ended up taking December off and started fresh back up here in January on Tuesdays instead of Thursdays, scheduling wise. So every Tuesday, 11 a.m. at Owls Club. Health Rhythms is an evidence-based group empowerment drumming program, and it helps boost your mood and decrease your stress. Everybody have stress in here? Because I know, yeah. And I'll always love to be in a better mood, right? The best as I can. So, and we do that using actual drums and percussion instruments. And it's not cardio drumming, so I won't sit you down with drumsticks and a big exercise ball and a basket, which is also a great program. This is just not that. So I get that mixed up often. That's why I'm telling you, because I've had people walk in and, oh, this isn't cardio drumming? Nope, it's even better. Just no exercise. There's a little bit of work to it. So we're not hitting the drums the entire time. We're interacting. It really helps the group, whether they know each other or not, come together in a way, and it brings that camaraderie with everyone in the circle. And it's even more amazing when I have so many strangers that I've never met. And so the program is just such a great program to help reduce your stress, to build camaraderie, to build those relationships. So like I said, we are interacting. I ask questions and I have people answer me using drums. And I will tell you that you do not have to have any musical experience prior to this program, I promise. I'm a true believer that we all have rhythm inside of us. Some people have to search a little bit harder, but it's there. It really is. I'm going to go over a little bit about Alzheimer's and dementia, really just a couple main questions that I get asked a lot, and then I'm going to let you all, if you have any, ask me questions for however long. Quarter to? Okay. 10 minutes. What was I just going to go over? This is why they hired me, because I forget things. Oh, yeah, sorry. Whew. Okay. This does happen often while I'm talking. Okay, so one of my biggest questions is, what's the difference between Alzheimer's and dementia? And the biggest difference is dementia is actually not the disease itself. It's the umbrella term. So if you've heard of the word cancer, and you have all these different types of cancer, right? Oh, I got diagnosed with cancer. Oh, what kind? Oh, I got diagnosed with dementia. Oh, what kind? Now I have all these different types of dementia. However, Alzheimer's is the #1 type of dementia, though. By most diagnosis ranging around the 80% mark, give or take, of all diagnosis is Alzheimer's disease. So that's one. Oh my gosh, train of thought today is gone. Does anyone else have questions that are burning about dementia? Yes. Oh, right. I didn't give him time.
Is this on? No, not on. It's on? No, it's not on. This is the gong mic. Okay, there we go. Who had a question?
Two questions, really.
Yes.
The first question is, has the affliction of Alzheimer's been positively linked to the plaques in the brain, or is it still a conjecture? That's question one. Question two is, has there been an increase, a measurable increase in Alzheimer's cases, and what have they attributed that to, if so?
Okay. So I will open that first question up with not being a doctor and deep education and knowledge about the research side of it. I can't answer that fully to that extent. I know with all the research, they have tons of studies out there, and I mean hundreds and hundreds of studies out there for different medications, specifically just for Alzheimer's even. But what it's necessarily linked to, I'm not 100% sure. Now, Alzheimer's is that buildup of plaques and tangles. But depending on what it's linked to is probably really, depending on what researcher you're talking to, what study that they've done. And the second one, remind me. Oh, right. Yes. Statistically, I'm not for sure if there's been a higher number, if it's been increasing. Well, it's supposed to rise. Let's see, it's somewhere in the millions now, and it's supposed to rise to like 50 million by 2030. So the increase is there, but I also think people are starting to get to the doctor earlier. There's still a stigma on dementia. However, I feel like it's trending downwards, just because we're starting to see people go to the doctor earlier. So that means they're actively looking for that help. Oh, something's going on, I need to go to the doctor. Instead of, oh, I think I'm going crazy, I don't want to let anyone know. Okay? So we're seeing that more too. We're even seeing younger folks come in, and they are coming to us for support that have been recently diagnosed with some type of dementia. I've seen more like early onset, like Alzheimer's, so pre-65. So.
You said your services are free. But do you have to be referred clinically to your services, or?
You do not, no. There are several physicians in the area, primary physicians, neurologists, neuropsych offices that have referral forms that they'll send us, but it's not a requirement. You can walk right into our building.
Okay.
Or call us.
I'm curious, services at your center are free. How is that financially supported or funded?
So for the center, Milton Village, I guess I forgot a little caveat to the center. The day center part of it, where we have staff that take care of that oversee individuals living with dementia in the center, that is not free. The caregiver support is free. So there's multiple entities that work together in the Milton Village, so different organizations where we all work together and provide this one big service. So we help each other out. We do a lot of different things there. So the day center portion of it is through the Milton Adult Day Services. So they have that set up, and they do accept multiple payer sources as well. And then our caregiver side of it with Alzheimer's and dementia services, we're funded through, well, we're a branch of Real Services, so there is funds there for being a nonprofit. And then we apply for a lot of grants for programs, and then we also get donations. So we have fundraisers. We do have probably our biggest fundraiser of the year coming up in June 14th. It's a Saturday, and that's our annual Stand By Me walk. So that's probably our biggest one. So all those funds that are raised at our fundraisers, 100% of that goes right back into a pot for the caregivers, so we can provide those services for free.
One last question.
A lot of us are older folks here, and we have trouble with our memory once in a while. I see on television they have this over-the-counter drug called, I think it's retinol. Do you find that effective, or your people using it?
I have not heard a lot about that one lately. In the past, I've been asked more about, what is it, Prevagen, thank you. I'll answer that with what I've been told by other caregivers that have tried it. I've had a smaller amount say, yep, that works for me, and I've had a larger amount say no, and that they've talked to their doctors, say no. But personally, I don't really have a personal preference on it. It's like dementia. You know, I tell people, you meet one person with dementia, you've met one person with dementia. So everybody's different. It's our DNA. So how that medicine affects us is going to be different for each one of us. So it could, whether it be like a placebo effect or actually helping you, it could make you feel better. And that could be for anyone differently. But yeah. Thank you. Thank you all so much for having me today.
Our last Tim 414 is a short one, so Joe and Marva are going to play it through once. We'll sing it once, and then they'll play a third time to end it. Stay standing after that for the chalice extinguishing and benediction, and then we will listen to the postlude. So stand if you're willing and able to sing As We Leave This Friendly Place. As we leave this friendly place, love is bright to every face. May thy kindness which we learn guide our hearts till we return. Would you read with me as printed in your order service, the extinguishing of the chalice? We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Last week, I was so impressed with Janelle's benediction. I called her because I didn't look through the hymnal yet, but she found this in the hymnal and it's appropriate for today. And so I want to share the benediction that she shared. This is on number 706 in the hymnal by Kathleen McGuire. May the light around us guide our footsteps and hold us fast to the best and most righteous that we seek. May the darkness around us nurture our dreams and give us rest so that we may give ourselves to the work of our world. Let us seek to remember the wholeness of our lives, the weaving of light and shadow in this great and astonishing dance in which we move. Thank you. You may be seated.
Might have a problem that you understand. We all need